Alrighty, and back to the Crypto Report, everybody. I am Crypto Kip, and it is Monday. What a day. What a week. We have a big week ahead. A lot of news happened since we've last connected here on the channel. Warren Buffett, the Bitcoin hater, stepping down from his role as the head of Berkshire Hathaway. But did he transition into a Bitcoin lover at the end of his days as the head of Berkshire Hathaway? He might have. We're going to talk about that. And just in, hot off the press, hot off the stove, actually. Thank you, Mrs. Crypto Kip. Oh, wow. Thank you. We got a bagel with some eggs. Rock and roll, people. Rock and roll, people. We got a lot of news today. Warren Buffett stepped down. We've got more tariff threats against the movie industry. The most important thing right now on my mind is certainly the Fed and rate cuts and the FOMC meeting this week. Now, we are going to be live streaming the FOMC meeting here on this channel. And if you want to tune in, you can do so. Follow us on our socials. Oh, right here. _ Crypto Report. You might be watching this live stream there right now. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. It's free to subscribe. It just gives you alerts that, hey, we're going live. We're going to talk about crypto. But this week, in 2 short days, we are going to do a live stream for this upcoming FOMC meeting and talk about what comes next for this space. Because if the Fed is a little hawkish, we could have some volatility. This is what I was talking to you guys about yesterday. Actually, yesterday I kind of did an emergency update and looked back at the data and saw that things are actually looking a lot different than they looked last week. With the jobs report that came out, we're not looking at a high percentage chance of a rate cut in June when we were. So rates getting cut is getting pushed back, which is kind of why this is a big week. We're going to see what the Fed says. The Fed might crash the markets this week. I mean, just talking candidly about it, the Fed might come out with some language that could cause some fear in the market. Perhaps there's a little bit of an overreaction right now in the market and maybe too much fear, but maybe not. These rate cuts are important. It's something we've been talking about for a really long time, and now they're getting delayed yet again. So that's a little tough. Let me go ahead and share my screen though. Let's get into the weeds on it, guys. Let's get into some of the specifics of exactly what's cooking in the crypto market. Okay. First up, welcome back, everybody. To everybody in the comments section, hello, shout outs, couple shout outs out there. Shout out to Crypto Runner, Jimmy the Lip, the One, the Crypto Keeper, Daryl Young, Demon in the chat, Ricardo, Miller, Frank, MMB. We got a lot of folks in here this morning. Thanks for tuning in. Bleaky in the chat. Papa, Tony. Man, there's a lot of you guys. Scott, 2 Scotts, West Texas, Papa. All right. That's a lot of shout outs. And of course, John and Marty. How you doing? Okay. So Bitcoin's a little lower today. I'm personally not very surprised by this. Let me take down the tunage just a little bit more. I'm personally not surprised by this, guys. Because of some of these stories that we want to talk. I mean, the biggest thing is, and let's just jump right into this. This is the biggest deal for the day. With 2 days left before the Fed meeting happens, what we're dealing with right now is nothing different for May, a 97% chance that there's no rate cut. Okay, fine. We knew that. But June, at one point, there was a 60+% chance that we were going to get a rate cut in June. It's down to 27%. There's a 71% chance we're not going to get a rate cut. What do you think the Fed is going to come out and say tomorrow? With the jobs data that came out recently, with the inflation data that we're looking at, the odds right now are saying with a 71% chance, the Fed is going to be hawkish tomorrow. It's not what we want to see. Hawkish, dovish. Hawkish means doesn't want to cut rates. Dovish means, cutting rates because things are getting better. All right? That's just in a nutshell. Into July, we were looking at a 50% chance just a week ago that by the July 30th FOMC meeting, we were going to see maybe 2 rate cuts. 50% chance. Now we have only a 50% chance that we're going to see a 1/4 point cut by July and a 25% chance that we're not even going to get a rate cut in July. What the heck happened? Jobs reports data. Boy, oh boy. I don't know if there was specifically other data that came out, but the Fed, based on the data right now, is going to be more hawkish. That's what the best analysts out there are reading into with the data that we're looking at right now. And that's kind of the reality of this situation. Obviously, these odds fluctuate. So if things get worse for the economy, strangely enough, that actually increases the chance of a rate cut. It's tough. Into September now, a 5% chance we don't get a rate cut in September. You didn't even see any odds that was going to happen. A 32% chance that by September we're cut a 1/4 point. Still a 47% chance that we're cut 1/2 point. Kind of getting later to the year. You know, by December, we are still expected to at least get 1 rate cut. But there's a 0.7% chance now that we're not going to get a rate cut this year. Why do I talk about rate cuts so much? If you want Bitcoin to really pop off, and putting Bitcoin aside, if you want your altcoins to pop off, you almost need the Fed to cut rates. Now, what does the Fed cutting rates have anything to do with Fartcoin? Unfortunately, it has a lot to do with it. Isn't that stupid? It is stupid, but it's kind of how it works. It's kind of how it works. You could argue, well, we had the pop off earlier. Yeah, I mean, it's not totally exclusive, right? It's not like if the Fed doesn't cut rates, altcoin season won't happen. No. But if the Fed does cut rates, your altcoin season will be better. So you want it. So you want it. Okay? You do. This guy named Vision Pulsed on YouTube. Hey, there's a guy talking about our channel. Neat. Who's that guy? What, is he another crypto guy? That's funny. Can you send me a link on Discord? On Discord on X, the one. I want to see that. I'm so curious. I'm so curious. I want to hear. Maybe I'll invite him on. We'll have a nice conversation. Oh man, I want to hear what's up from that guy. Look at this chat going on right now. All right, Demon's talking about the orange dude. We'll talk about the orange dude in this video. I'm gonna talk about the orange dude. I mean the president. What's moving today? Form. Let's see what this is. Never heard of this. There's always something new going on in crypto. How about that? Binance and KuCoin. Binary X. Okay. Just a new GameFi and metaverse games. Looks like a gaming play. Okay. Random coin popping off today. There's always something popping in crypto, even when Bitcoin's down. Not always, but generally. Core's up a little bit. Pit Tensor's up. Just generally a little weak. Swee's kind of an outlier right now. Nice that that's up a little bit today. But we're just generally pretty weak right now. Right now in this very moment. Now, over the last 7 days, we did have some nice pumps, but now we're kind of starting to cool off, actually, more so, if you really kind of zoom out and look at it. Trump coin back down to 11 cents or $11. The meme coin dinner's coming. So Trump, let's talk about the orange man, to host a meme coin gala dinner amid backlash impeachment calls. People, of course, want to impeach him over the meme coin launch. This shouldn't be shocking news to anybody because they've always wanted to impeach him every chance they get. That's just what has been done towards this president historically. Impeach. That's just been the standard. You know, that's just been the standard with this presidency. They're always trying to impeach him. And they've got their reasons that they claim are valid. And at the end of the day, he was not removed from office. So, you know, we'll see what happens with this now. Do you see the delicate dance we got to do here, right? I'm not a political guy. I don't really care about politics. What I do care about is the effect that politics is having on crypto. And the meme coin thing, well, it was fun and exciting. Maybe it wasn't the best idea because now, you know, they're going to try to impeach him over it. And if you want pro-crypto things to happen in the U.S., this is the first president we ever had to do it. So I think net he should be a good thing for crypto, though he launched the meme coin, doesn't really give it a good look. And really, anything Trump touches either is the best or it's the worst, right? And I say that because you either love him or you hate him. And that's kind of what happens. And so when Trump loves crypto, people then hate crypto. When Trump didn't like crypto, then those people that didn't like Trump could then like crypto, right? That's kind of how people work. It's kind of sad, but that's also politics. That's what happens when you get tangled up in politics. You kind of just, oh, well, I'm not supposed to like this thing, so I shouldn't like that thing. Or I'm supposed to like this thing, so I like this thing. Separate the two. Realize that the meme coin was probably a mistake. I think it's funny. That's about it. Should he be impeached over it? I don't really have an opinion. But what I do have an opinion on is I think that it's nice that we have a president that's trying to move pro-crypto things forward. And it's a bummer that, you know, they're trying to impeach a crypto president. You know, does that make sense? That's how I feel about it. Though you kind of bring it on yourself when you launch a meme coin, right? Anyway, this Trump coin is falling today because the dinner's coming up. They've already picked the winners. And so anybody that was buying the meme coin in anticipation for the dinner, well, the news has been announced. They picked the winners. This is probably going to continue to sell off, especially if Bitcoin slips back down on the Fed later this week. Again, not tomorrow, the next day, the Fed speaks. It is probably going to be volatile. And looking at Bitcoin, and by the way, I do think that the Trump coin can recover in the future. But looking at Bitcoin, we're back. Came down to 93.8. Don't be surprised, guys, if we revisit 92.7, 92.5, something around there. If we break through 90, okay, to the downside of 90, then, you know, 88K comes back into the picture. So I'm looking at these levels, and we might hit these as soon as the FOMC meeting to the downside, maybe. The Fed, again, hawkish. Our rate cut odds have gone out the window, basically. So Kind of tough. Kind of tough. Daryl says, yeah, they won't end up removing him from office, but likely get impeached again due to emollients clause. I don't know what that is. Can't happen until after. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just so sick of politics, but unfortunately it's leaked into crypto. So we got to talk about it. Whiz bang. Oh man. Our bear on the channel. How you doing, Wiz? I see you in the chat. Appreciate you. He says back to 78K this week. Look, Whiz bang. I'm not going to tell you that the one says 78K. Haha, no way, sir. I say, well, I don't think so. But there's no way that I'd say no way. I'll tell you that, the one. It's possible. The Fed rate's kind of going bye-bye. Impeachment threats, it's possible. It's possible, okay? I don't think it's likely. I don't think it's where we're going. I think we're holding. I think we've seen our lows at this point. Before we see, I think we're going to see higher highs before we see lower lows in 2025. Okay. Yeah. 5 months later, and somehow crypto is going down. Crypto right now is for millionaires for corrupted orange dude family. See, and that's how a lot of people feel right now. And that's how a lot of people feel right now. But I want to remind you that like that is a little bit of political emotion. And you know, not to say that I'm not calling you wrong, but don't get caught up on the orange dude. Get caught up on the industry and just in general. Where's the needle moving with regulation, right? It's moving in the correct direction. Crypto is going to go more mainstream as larger funds like BlackRock and other players come into this space. There is so much upside for Bitcoin. And the higher that Bitcoin goes, the higher the altcoin market can go, guys. It's just very, very simple. WCBJJ77 West in the chat. If Bitcoin drops further, I'll view it as a gift and stack more stats. Me too. And Crypto Keeper says it's all market manipulation. There's a lot of market manipulation in this stuff and in all the stuff. That's the truth of it, guys. You should know that. Looking at the data, yeah, we had a very nice April. Pretty cool. We're a little stuck in May. Seller may walk away. You know I don't believe that, okay? Demon says, how down can BTC go? Heck, Demon, I'll tell you, my lowest level that I'd stomach for the health of a bull market is 65. That's the previous high. Could we get some wicks below that? We could. Again, I'm not telling you it's coming down to 65. At this point, I'm kind of putting that away. It has slightly come back into my brain as I see this news about rate cuts going bye-bye. I'm okay to say 65 out loud again. Okay. But as of last week, that was not the case. You see how things change so quickly? You should subscribe to the channel and you should turn on your notification bell because every update we give you has a purpose and a reason. And even if I'm doing a Dogecoin or a Pepe video or whatever it might be, and maybe that's not your cup of tea, I'm going to be talking about the macro picture and you could learn something, you know, and not financial advice. I never give financial advice. That's not what we do here. It's for entertainment purposes only. Got a little disclaimer at the bottom, if you can see it in the tiny font. But man, there are things that change every day, and we're going to keep talking about it, okay? Marty says if BTC goes to 78 or 65, Crow's going to 4 cents. You're darn right. You're darn right, Marty. But anyway, things are doing fine. April was good. May's just got started, guys. We're on May 6th now. So May 5th now. There you go. May 5th now. It's a new era. It's a new day, right? Buffett, Warren Buffett, who famously said that he wouldn't buy all the Bitcoin in the world for $25 or $5. He's finally going to step down. That's appropriate. Once you say out loud that you wouldn't buy all the Bitcoin in the world for $5, well, you've lost it, sir. You got to know when a good deal. It's a good deal. Why wouldn't you take a good deal? Even if you didn't believe it. Even if you didn't believe Bitcoin, like, of course you'd buy all the Bitcoin in the world for $5. Except you wouldn't want to hold all the supply, because then if you hold all the supply, then, but you understand what I'm saying. He's going to remain a chairman, but he's stepping down as the CEO. So now there's this new guy, Abel, and it's just going to be interesting to see. The reason I bring this story up is because, again, he was a giant anti-crypto guy. But I want to remind you guys this. See this little headline? Warren Buffett's anti-crypto stance may have changed. Here's an update. This is from May 5th. Look, they go in this article and they repeat how he's not a crypto enthusiast. And yeah, here you go. This is where he says, if you told me I could own all the Bitcoin of the world and you offered it to me for $25, I wouldn't take it, because what would I do with it? I have to sell it back to you one way or another. Would you want all the gold? Would he take all the gold for $25? Do you understand? It was so stupid. It was just a stupid comment. And when people say really stupid comments, like Mark Cuban said about bananas in Bitcoin, rather have bananas in Bitcoin, Mark Cuban was buying Bitcoin the whole time. And what's interesting is in 2021, Berkshire Hathaway invested $500 million, followed by another $250 million in new holdings of Brazilian digital banking company, reported by Fortune magazine. Given Berkshire Hathaway is valued around $1 trillion, it's not much, but it's significant because new holdings has its own crypto platform. So he did invest in the crypto space, just not directly. Also owns a lot of shares of the Jefferies Financial Group, a financial services company. The company has a large stake in the largest spot exchange traded Bitcoin fund in the world, iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF. So my point is Warren Buffett, even though he hated Bitcoin, invested in the crypto space indirectly. Now that he's gone, I would not be surprised to see his predecessor. Wait, predecessor? Successor. Got it. His successor. That's the word, right? Take a pro-crypto approach. You dig? You dig. We also have a little red in the traditional markets. So just a little bit, not too bad. S&P's kind of coming back still. But the orange man, the president, wants to add some tariffs to foreign movies, which is very interesting. So Netflix stock is crashing. Buy Bitcoin. I mean, I'm buying Bitcoin. You got to make your own decisions. Yeah. So, I mean, kind of a big deal. It's tariffs. That's the big story right now. Do we have any relief on tariffs? Not really. Though, here's a couple stories I did want to share with you guys. Canada and the EU agree to strengthen free trade and ties with economic cooperation. Again, kind of going around these tariffs. May 4th, the president said he'll lower tariffs on China at some point. Not talking about when. I wanted to share that Watcher Guru's got some great posts here. I wanted to kind of walk through a few of them with you guys. This weekend, the president actually came out and said that the crypto market was much stronger than the stock market. It's very popular. It's very hot. This is what he said. He also said, I want crypto. Crypto is important because if we don't do it, China's going to do it. So he's going to do it. This is very positive language for crypto. And you got the meme coin dinner coming up. You've got less rate cuts not less odds of a rate cut, but here's some kind of good news. Actually, it's not that good news, but it looks good. Bitcoin and Ethereum lead $2 billion in crypto investment inflows amid market shift. Hey, that's pretty good. $2 billion in crypto. Uh-oh. Short Bitcoin products also draw attention, securing the highest inflows since December 2024, which is right before the market started to slip. Bitcoin leads the inflow. We're talking about inflow, but inflow to what? Most inflows last week are tracking 1.8 billion. During this period, The asset climbed to a multi-week high of 94,000. It attracted more than 5.5 billion in 2025 so far, as there is a growing interest in this industry. But last week, short Bitcoin products also recorded $6.4 million worth of inflows, the highest since December of 2024. That's the bad news. The good news is it attracted 1.8 billion, much bigger than the 6.4 million. There are some bearish investors who are betting against Bitcoin's bullish rally. Or is it bearish now? I'll tell you what, though, if you want to trade this crazy volatility, and there's so much volatility for everybody to trade on, you can sign up for Blowfin. I've got a link for you guys. It's pinned in the comments down below. Up to a $5,000 deposit bonus. If you want to check it out, it's there for you guys, okay? To talk about Ethereum resurgence, yeah, a little bit. Pulling in 149 million last week. They've got about 336 million, I guess, over the last 2 weeks. Pretty good. Smaller than Bitcoin. Shouldn't be surprised. I still think Solana is going to be bigger than Ethereum. Meanwhile, other altcoins such as Solana, XRP, and Tezos posted modern gains. I think that we're going to have an incredibly successful Solana ETF launch later this year. So I'm looking forward to that. Yes. And Daryl got a great point in the chat. He said, hit the like. You should hit the like. All right, let's do a little Q&A. I'm looking at the chat now. What's up? How we doing? Crypto Keeper says, I just can't believe all this is real. You get a tariff, you get a tariff. You get a tariff, you're okay. And you get a tariff. The most beautiful market ever seen, I'm told. Really? Thanks for tuning in, Demon. He's getting back to work. Nice. My Filipino wife and I, in the ocean, no waves are the same. They're all unique, but similar patterns will emerge like the previous wave. Now that is some water. That's some water voodoo. I like it. Soon people will just get tariffed for existing outside the USA. You stepped over the border and now you owe me $10. That's just what it is. I'm sorry. There's a border. You went over it. Now you're tariffed. Crypto's more than a watch when you just told. I put in 200 in The Witcher 3. Oh, nice. Yeah, what good shows are there out there? Me and my wife are looking for a good show. Anybody got any recommendations? Not The Witcher. It's not my cup of tea. So Pump.Fun has had more revenue than the entire Ethereum blockchain. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. That was a crazy meme coin craze we had going on. Severance, is that the one with the family with the Severance? Friends and neighbors. Daryl's like, are we watching Ethereum die right in front of us right now? I mean, I don't think it's going to die. I just think it's going to get outperformed, you know? And then people will say that it died. And then maybe it does die. Probably not. Not for a while. 1923 was good. Friends and neighbors. I got to watch some of these. Oh, yeah, I heard about this. It's good. Okay. What network's that on? How do I watch that? I'll check it out. Shout out to all you guys watching, by the way. Smash the like, subscribe, and thanks for tuning in, folks. Little Q&A for you right now, and now I'm getting show recommendations, which is great. Oh man, Ultra Justin, The Bear is so good. It's probably one of my favorite shows. Like, I'm a cooking guy. I like to cook a lot. I love food. I'm a foodie. I just love food, and I love that show. Yeah, I love that show. It's so good. Plus, I love a good Italian beef, and the origins of the show is just, it's great. Ultra Justin, great. Except for it's on Apple TV. Okay, we got to check it out. I do love piccata. Yesterday, I changed it up. We got some steaks from Costco instead of Jewel, which is what I use. And you know, it was pretty good steak. It was a pretty good steak. Mr. Crypto Kip. Yeah, we were talking about Sons of Anarchy. Maybe getting into that one. It's a pretty good one. Reacher on Amazon. We could check that one out too. Oh, Ultra Justin, I'm a chef in real life, cutting chicken as I listen to your stream. Not too shabby. What kind of dish you cooking? What kind of chicken? Man, I love making sesame chicken. It is a doozy. It's a lot of work, in my opinion. I'm not a chef though. But I just love it. I just love it. Mrs. Crypto Kip in the chat saying, she's questioning me in front of everybody. Is Sons of Anarchy any good? You questioning me? She's watching, like, she's cooking up a sassy message for me right now, I'm sure. No, it's a great show. Sons of Anarchy, anyone? No? I like it. Tulsa King. Write it down. Tulsa King, I've never heard of. Severance, I've heard of. And then Friends and Neighbors, I don't know what that's about. Marty, I'm not pro like you, Marty. Let me tell you. There you go. You got one person liking Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, it's a pretty good show. Pretty good show. I like it. All right, folks. Well, Landman, we'll have to check that out. Check that one out, too. Oh, there she is. All right, guys. Well, not today, but tomorrow. Nope, not tomorrow either. In 2 days, the FOMC meeting's happening. I'm going to be doing a live stream on it, so get ready. I'm going to jet. I'm Crypto Kip. This is the Crypto Report. You want to do some trading? Sign up using our link for Blowfin in the comments down below. Up to a $5,000 deposit bonus when you sign up and deposit some money. Up to a $5,000 deposit bonus. Check it out if you haven't done so. Be careful, guys. Long support, short resistance. Do your own research. More news coming. I just want to get a couple stories out in front of you guys today. I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for all the show recommendations. I appreciate it. Ooh, Guy Fieri. Might have to check that one out. Thanks, Adam. Thanks, everybody. See you next time. Peace. You too. Everybody have a great day.